It begins with silence, the kind of silence that only exists right before chaos. Because when Joey Bada Dollar and For Hungry West Coast rappers clashed, hip-hop wasn't ready. What started as a few subliminal lines spiraled into one of the loudest, most unpredictable rap wars of the decade, and it's a story that stretches across coasts, across generations, and deep into the soul of hip-hop itself. But to really understand how we got here, we need to rewind. Back in 2012, a teenager from Brooklyn shook the entire rap world. His name was Vaughn, but everyone came to know him as Joey Bada Dollar. Just 17 years old, he released his mixtape 1999. It wasn't just good, it was a revelation. Over dusty boom-bap beats, Joey channeled the spirit of New York legends like Nas, Biggie, and Jay-Z. Critics hailed him as the second coming of the golden era, a new face of lyricism in an age where real rap felt like it was fading. Joey wasn't just rapping, he was reviving. He built Pro Era, a crew dedicated to lyricism, knowledge, and authenticity. To fans of pure hip-hop, Joey wasn't just another artist, he was a savior. But while Joey was carrying the torch, the game was changing. Trap was exploding out of Atlanta. Drill was rising in Chicago and New York. Melodic rap was climbing the charts. The mainstream no longer sounded like 90s hip-hop. It was darker, louder, catchier, more experimental, and while Joey earned respect, the spotlight slowly shifted away from him. He became more of a respected figure than the main event. On the other side of the country, a different story was unfolding. A new generation of West Coast rappers was clawing for their place. Vaughn, signed to TDE, made waves with sharp delivery and clever punchlines, as Chike brought raw, street-heavy energy with a bounce that screamed Los Angeles. Reason, another TDE soldier, crafted bars that blended intelligence with aggression. And then there was Daylyt, the unpredictable genius of battle rap, a man as brilliant as he was chaotic, for very different artists, for very different sounds. But one thing united them, hunger. And somehow, their hunger locked onto Joey Bada Dollar. It started quietly. A freestyle Joey spit during a performance included lines fans claimed were aimed at the West Coast. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But blogs ran wild with speculation, social media debated it, and soon, the whispers of beef started echoing, louder. Then Vaughn lit the fuse. He dropped the diss titled Ho Era, a direct shot at Joey's Pro Era. There was no hiding behind metaphors. This was a straight-up declaration of war. Joey had the options, let it slide, or strike back. He chose war. His response was pure Brooklyn, sharp, unapologetic, surgical. He reminded everyone that his pen was lethal, that even if the industry wasn't talking about him daily, he was still one of the most dangerous lyricists alive. The diss reignited his fire. For a moment, it felt like 2012 all over again. But Vaughn wasn't alone. The West Coast rallied behind him. As Chike added fuel with shots of his own, Reason joined in, lacing his bars with clever jabs. And then Daylyt entered the battlefield. Daylyt doesn't play by rules. In battle rap, he's infamous for being unpredictable. One moment delivering Shakespeare-level metaphors, the next pulling outrageous stunts mid-performance, and when he turned his focus to Joey, the game shifted. His bars weren't just disses, they were puzzles, layered attacks that had fans decoding for days. Every punchline hit with double meaning. Every verse felt like an essay on Joey's career, legacy, and flaws. Suddenly, Joey wasn't facing one opponent. He was facing an army. And that's when the chaos truly exploded. The East Coast versus West Coast narrative reemerged. For years, people thought that tension was buried with the 90s. But now, in 2025, it had new faces, new voices, and a digital battlefield. Diss tracks dropped like missiles. Fans dissected every line on TikTok and Twitter. Podcasts lit up with debates. YouTube reaction channels blew up, pausing every bar, screaming at every clever punch. It wasn't just music, it was cultural warfare. Some claimed Joey was outnumbered, but holding his own with pure lyrical skill. Others argued that the West's combined energy was simply too much. The arguments weren't just about bars, they were about what hip-hop should sound like in 20 to 5. Joey embodied tradition, bars over trends, pen over gimmicks. The West embodied evolution, mixing lyricism with bounce, with energy, with modern flows. It wasn't just Joey versus for rappers. It was old versus new. East versus West. Legacy versus hunger. And the fans, they were eating it up. Clubs started spinning the disses. Twitter trended with hashtags after every drop. Stream count soared. Even casual listeners who hadn't paid attention to Joey in years suddenly had him back on their playlists. For Vaughn, Reason, Chike, and Daylyt, the beef elevated their visibility. Overnight, they weren't just rappers anymore. They were warriors in a war everyone was watching. But this wasn't like the violent feuds of the past. No street shootouts, no tragedies. This war lived on wax and on the internet. It was hip-hop in its purest competitive form. The battle of words, the test of skill, the hunger for respect. And respect is exactly what was at stake. Every diss wasn't just an insult. It was a statement. Joey demanded recognition as the last true East Coast lyricist holding the old ways. The West Coast rappers demanded acknowledgement as the new face of hip-hop, the evolution of the culture. And while the bars cut deep, they also inspired something rare, excitement, real, old-school excitement in hip-hop. Fans weren't just consuming songs. They were studying them, debating them, living them. The war became more than beef. It became a revival. Now, let's pause here, because in every rap war, there's the music, and then there's the impact. The impact of Joey's comeback has been massive. For a moment, he was nearly forgotten by the mainstream, remembered only by loyal fans and critics. But now, he's trending, streaming, and most importantly, respected again. His decision to fight instead of fade reminded everyone why they fell in love with him. In the first place, for the West, the impact was just as strong. Vaughn gained a new spotlight as a legitimate threat. Reason's bars elevated him beyond just being another TDE rapper. Chike pulled in a new wave of fans who might never have listened before. And Daylyt, well, Daylyt proved once again that when he chooses to, he can be one of the most dangerous lyricists in the world. This war put every single name in bigger lights. But here's the real question. How does it end? Right now, nobody's backing down. New disses keep coming. Fans keep arguing. Podcasts keep fueling the fire. And every week, another verse shakes the landscape. Some believe Joey can't survive this forever. That being outnumbered 4-1 is unsustainable. Others argue that Joey doesn't need to win. He's already won by proving that lyricism, pure and raw, can still stand tall in 2025. On the flip side, the West isn't slowing down. They see this as their chance to shift the power, to prove that they're not just making catchy records, but they can battle with the best of them. And with for sharp pens firing together, they've got the momentum. But the truth, the real truth, is this war isn't about winners or losers. It's about energy. It's about hip-hop remembering what it feels like to be alive again. This beef has sparked conversations about authenticity, about the future of rap, about whether evolution means abandoning tradition or building on it. It has reminded everyone that competition fuels greatness, that hip-hop, at its core, is about testing your skill against another. And whether you're Team Joey or Team West Coast, one thing is undeniable. This war has given us some of the most exciting moments in years. So where do we go from here? We keep watching. We keep listening. Because as long as Joey Bada keeps firing, as long as Vaughn, as Chike, Reason, and Daylyt keep responding, this story isn't over. It's still being written. And maybe, years from now, we'll look back at 2025 and say, that was the year hip-hop woke up again. Asterisk until then. The only question left is simple. Asterisk, whose side are you on? Joey Bada, the warrior carrying the torch of New York, or the West Coast collective, hungry, united, and ready to redefine the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because hip-hop isn't just listening. Hip-hop is watching.